Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now I know I have been quite lazy when it comes to champion reviews and guides and rotation showcases and stuff like that, but well, we have to get back somehow, and we're gonna start with arguably the most requested champion. That's gonna be Nimrod. So we're gonna go over kind of his abilities, brief breakdown, best way how to remember exactly how he works, and plenty of showcase fights as well. Before we get any further, I want to hear in comments section which champion you want me to break down and kind of make a user guide for next. So the most popular comment, the most upvoted comment is going to be the champion that I do work on next in these, well, hopefully reinvigorated series for the channel. But here we have the Mr. Marshmallow himself, final evolution of Jigglypuff. Looks adorable, does some really amazing things, and is quickly gaining value, popularity, and, well, steam behind him, so to speak, even though he's moved way past steam engines. Right, so how we're going to do this is I'm going to quickly break down his two protocols and how he manages them. That will include majority of his abilities. I will not read him out word for word. And then we're going to go in fights and showcase exactly what I have been explaining. So let's just jump here. Perhaps this is going to be easier to show. He has two protocols. He starts every fight in Titan protocol. Each of these protocols have different sets of abilities. In Titan protocol, it's kind of all about defensive and ramp up. That is exactly how you need to view Titan protocol. Everything to do with Titan protocol largely is to ramp you up and to bolster your defenses kind of thing. So the main abilities of Titan protocol is damage reduction on critical hits based on how many armor ups you have. Whenever an opponent uses special attack, they will get cowardice, which again lowers their attack on the special attack, so kind of makes you bulkier and able to withstand more special attack damage in the block or otherwise. Every time you parry, you gain an armor up buff. And then each of the special attacks have unique effects, also based on which protocol you're in. And all of them are the ones that happen on your side of the screen. So special 1 is the energize, so more power gain. Special 2, you gain unstoppable, which again is kind of like defensive ability that happens on your side of the screen for the most part. And special 3 is regen. So that is your ramp up defensive protocol that you have to contend with. And then you have your Blitz protocol, which is your offensive protocol. And then quite contrary, like if Titan protocol had damage reduction on opponent's crits, then the Blitz protocol has increased attack plus additional attack per armor. So you gain more damage. Then on top of that, you power drain opponent whenever they use special attacks. And again, the design here is that whenever opponent uses special attacks, they'll have less power, so you're able to be more aggressive. So every single kit here kind of like works in two speeds, forward and backwards, building up and dealing damage. And as well, remove prowess and regen every time you touch opponent, even through block. And that again replaces those prowess and regens with shock and deals damage, lets you deal more damage. And likewise, with the Blitz protocol, you get new unique abilities per special attack. Special 1, opponents inflicted with energy vulnerability. That's very important because virtually every single damage source Nimrod has is energy based, including his basic attacks. So after special 1, you're going to be hitting harder even with your basic attacks. Special 2, just flat out your biggest source of damage with the shock. That is the mega melting special attack. And special 3 deals burst of damage, which also is how you can use alternate rotations, for instance. And now that I explained which protocol does what and how you should view them, again, 1 is on the opponent's side. Everything to do more damage, everything to be more aggressive. 1 is on your side to build up and take less damage. We're gonna go over quickly how they work. So you start every fight in Titan protocol, however, it alternates every 11 seconds. So there is a timer passively in the background that alternates. Every 11 seconds, you change your protocol from Titan to Blitz. Every time that happens, you gain 1 charge. Additionally, you can finish a combo with Forced Light Attack, kind of like with Black Widow Clairvoyant, to manually shift in the next protocol. However, that does not give you a charge. Every time you gain an armor up buff, you gain 1 charge. Hence the ramp up bit, because every time you parry in Titan protocol, you gain 1 armor up. In many fights, it will be impossible to ramp up these charges whilst you're in Blitz protocol. So if opponent doesn't have regen or prowess effect, you will want to be in Titan protocol to ramp yourself up initially. Additionally, every time opponent gains regeneration or prowess effect, you also gain charge automatically, regardless of which protocol you are in. Then, whenever you use special attack, you gain 1 or 2 charges based on which effects you use. Basically, if you use a special attack, you will trigger either energize or energy vulnerability that gives you a charge. However, if you use a special attack whilst your protocols are changing, you may benefit from both effects and you can gain 2 charges. And lastly, if you use special attack at 10 charges, you combine both of these protocols and you kind of go Super Saiyan, which is the mission in pretty much every fight. You want all of these effects to be active at the same time in order to have like the best of Nimrod. And that's your goal, to get to 10 charges in pretty much every fight, then use a special attack and then just watch opponents melt. Now, obviously, we can see that it is much easier if opponents have regen or prowess effects. However, up until now, I did not mention his SIG ability, and his SIG ability makes it much easier to ramp up against any mutant, because basically every armor up will grant you 2 charges against mutants. That is where the class kind of prowess comes in. Now, other than that, obviously he has some more abilities. He's a robot, so he has his immunities. He's also basically immune to armor breaks, not flat out immune, but they don't do anything to him. And mutants can't reduce his ability accuracy and all that other good stuff. But let's actually get to showcasing how everything that we discussed looks in the fights. So this first fight is just going to be very basic showcase of his abilities. I'm not going to be trying to play perfect. I'm going to be trying to showcase how everything works. We can see that we started in that blue Titan protocol, and every time we parry, we gain an armor up. Every time we gain an armor up, we gain a charge. It's a very simple interaction. That is how you ramp him up. Now 11 seconds had passed. He switched protocols. Now he's in Titan, and he gained another armor up by switching. I manually put him back in Titan protocol to gain more charges. Now we can see that I have 10 charges, and at this point I am able to use a special attack and activate my Mega Eradicate protocol. Now here I also wanted to showcase the damage reduction a bit, but it's fine. We're gonna get to it. So here we're gonna go in and let him use that special attack to show that the debuff he gained by activating special attack switched. Right now he's under power drain effect. Before that he was under cowardice. And now since I had 10 charges, I activated my Eradicate protocol. I benefited from both effects of energize and energy vulnerability. That means my attacks deal more damage and I gain more power. And now, just like that, I used level 2, whilst in my Eradicate protocol, I gained the Unstoppable and also inflicted shock on the opponent. And basically, that is kind of his rotation. In shorter fights, you may want to just build to level 2. In any moderately long fights, ideally you want level 1, level 2, level 1, level 2 to maintain energy vulnerability, because that allows you to do significantly more damage with every single attack, including your shocks on level 2 and things like that. And obviously having that extra power gain just speeds up the fight even more. In shorter fights, you kind of just want to build up to level 2, but we can see how Nimrod basically functions here. Everything that we discussed has been kind of showcased here. Well, for most part, almost everything, except obviously the abilities that are unique to mutant class fights. So we can move on to the next fight. I don't want to keep you guys too long here. This is going to be showcase how different it is to ramp him up if opponent has access to regeneration effects, passive or active, or prowess effects, passive or active. Like, remember at the first fight, I needed to parry quite a lot initially to get to those 10 protocol charges. Well, in this fight, I don't need to do anything. I can just stand and you can see my charges growing. Every time he gets a regeneration effect, my charges increase no matter which protocol I am in. I don't really need to do anything. There are 10 charges now. This node is still bugged, and I'm not going to comment on it too much, but either way, we saw how Nimrod just built up to 10 charges just because opponent was gaining those regeneration effects. So in any fight where opponent has regen or prowess, it becomes significantly easier to get to your Eradicate protocol and do your Mega Super Saiyan damage type of things and it's also easier to keep yourself in it. If opponent gets plenty of those regen and prowess effects, you basically spend entire fight in your super mode. This fight is meant to showcase just an average fight against a mutant with no nodes. We didn't really have anything here at all. This is Act 6.3, I believe, opponent. And we can see how quickly you were able to ramp up Nimrod. Basically, you kind of need to have 4 parries, do a couple of hit combos, then wait for the protocol to change. That's going to give you the 10th protocol charge, and you can use level 1. And that's it. That's entire fight. So we can, again, see it from the beginning. Let's check out how much HP did she had. So she has 229 HP, and the entire fight is over in one level 2. So here again, every time you parry against mutant, if Nimrod is awakened, we gain 2 charges. So I parried twice, I'm at 6. Now I'm at 8. Just need to get in either one more parry or how my charges change. At this point, I can activate my level 1, get both effects, energy vulnerability, energize, build up to level 2, and that is going to be virtually it for this fight. Now, if you do want to have as long time as possible in your eradicate protocols, you do kind of want to prepare them as they are expiring every time you get your mega damage mode. And that means you do want to parry fairly frequently if opponents do not have their regeneration or prowess effects there. But there we could see absolute meltdown. Now the next fight is going to be a bit silly. It's against Domino. Another thing Nimrod has is he's immune to ability accuracy reduction against mutant champions. That means no crit fail against Domino. That also means he can easily counter Magneto because he doesn't care about armor breaks, and he can't have his ability accuracy reduced, so he's going to do really, really well. I'm actually going to be goofing off there at some point in this fight. Just wanted to showcase that A, he doesn't take any damage from critical damage, from crit fail. But B, also, we're going to be comparing the damage reduction and how effective life-saving the damage reduction can be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build up armor up. So I have about 12 armor ups, but here, pay attention that I'm not in my Titan protocol. I'm in my Blitz protocol. That means I have no damage reduction aside from the armor ups. And that also means that Domino is about to crit hard because she is at 22 passive precisions, and we can see the damage there on those crits is 1700, 4k, 3k, 5k, and you know, it hurts. Alright, I'm gonna activate a special attack that activates my eradicate protocol, which gives me the benefits of Titan protocol. And now we can see I'm at 36% against the Domino, double my PI, and all of a sudden she's hitting for 500, 1000, 1600, and against many champions other than Domino, those numbers would be even smaller. Those numbers would be significantly smaller because Domino has a lot of crit damage multipliers and things like that in her base kit. But against most of the champions, you would be taking couple hundred damage per crit. So that damage reduction is very, very effective. However, here we are at interesting point. I'm at 5% health against this Domino, and let's see if Nimrod is the mutant killer and can he pull this fight out. Of course he can. So he drops a level 2. We can see that Domino is already melting away, and he will salvage this fight with no problem against Domino because he doesn't take any crit fail damage, and obviously he can absolutely destroy all the mutants. And only damage I really take in this fight is from recoil. I don't have any boosts here active, I don't have any synergy teams or anything like that. I do have Liquid Courage Double Edge active. But yeah, we can see that Domino gets absolutely smashed. But that is pretty much it. Now I have another fight here against Old Man Logan, but against Old Man Logan it's again fairly standard matchup against the mutant champion pretty much. I do use the Magneto House of X pre-fight just to guarantee myself unlimited access to parries. But basically Old Man Logan doesn't get any prowess, and he gains regeneration every so often, kind of, so it doesn't really help Nimrod much. But we can leave it in the background to kind of showcase how it looks here. I believe it was 200 odd hits to finish the fight. There is a level 3 that I wanted to showcase in this fight before we're gonna finish out the video. I will show that. But in general, I just wanted to give kind of some sort of consensus closure on Nimrod. Nimrod is definitely a very versatile champion because of his kit having access to shock, soon also incinerate via synergy, and on top of that he has access to unstoppable, his access to cover this and power drain, and that power drain is much more powerful than many people think it is. Then obviously energy damage as such, tons of armor ups, plenty of immunities, and in reality Nimrod has taken a role in absolute mutant destroyer. Only mutant Nimrod may struggle at circumstances pretty much is Bishop for most part. Everything else is relatively straightforward to deal with, and there's not too much to worry about. And that is very, very important role. Now, there are champions that deal more damage flat out, so to speak. There are champions that, you know, have similar kits of utility, but Nimrod, in my opinion, has managed to accumulate the exact set of abilities for most part to absolutely shut down an entire class, and then also a very specific subset of fights. So I personally do put a lot of value in Nimrod. There is a reason why he is as popular as he is, why he's being used more and more for most competitive game mode that we have in the form of Alliance Wars. And as we get more content, I'm absolutely have no doubts that we're going to see him used more in like Act 7 and stuff like that. I do genuinely believe that he is one of the champions that's really worth hunting for and ranking up immediately, even unawakened. Awakened, he does get better, specifically against mutants. He also gains more damage because his awakened ability not only increases the duration of the effects from your special attacks, it also increases the potency of like your shock damage and things like that. So it is really helpful to have him awakened, but he is so powerful and he has so much in his base kit that I would not hesitate at this point to rank him up even unawakened. All that being said, let's take a look at that level 3 before we finish up the video, and then I'm just gonna say my goodbyes to you guys. And remember, most upvoted comment is gonna be the next champion I break down. So at this point we can see that I had 6 armor ups. I'm in the Blitz protocol. We're gonna come out of this in Eradicate protocol. And Old Man Logan has energy vulnerability. Why I want to showcase this? Because his level 3 can be a very good alternate source of damage if opponents are shock immune, are resistant to shock or anything like that. And the level 3 also looks really cool. It really does. But let's check out the damage there. So we did 27,000 damage there, and we did over 50,000 damage. We hit the damage cap, so this level 3 can pack a really, really good punch as well if you set it up correctly. And thanks to energy vulnerability, thanks to attack increase from the Titan protocol, the energy damage, burst energy damage from the level 3 did in fact hit the Labyrinth of Legends damage cap. Actually need to check out exactly how high it can go, but it is a very substantial amount of damage, so you can kind of even look at him similar to a Havoc in a sense, if you have to, where you can just nuke down opponents with level 3 if you are unwilling or unable to throw your level 2s. But yeah, anyways, that is about it. We can look at the final stats there, but definitely Nimrod put in a solid enough work. As I said, he's not going to be the highest damage output champion in the entire game, but he does absolutely melt and destroy mutants all across the board. That's it. Leave a comment if you like this video, and let me know which champion you would like similar guide for next. Hope this helped you. See ya.
Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the